We have a very special guest today.
The most expensive thing on your books is always your payroll. Payroll better have some value because there's now so many alternatives. Every young person needs to know, claim your lane.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Atypical Podcast. It's not atypical, it's Atypical Podcast. And we're back again.
I love it. I can't believe we're saying this in 2026.
We're saying it again in 2026, and I'm here with my co-host, Pastor Ricky, and also we have a very special guest today. And I've thought about this intro for quite some time.
Oh boy.
You know, I'm trying to think of the best way to do it. I used to call, when I worked for Miss Edwards, Madam Secretary Tisha, I used to call her the real life Olivia Pope, minus all the mess.
Please.
And I think that's, you've kind of lived up to that through the years.
That's a
just
compliment.
this amazing woman. You know, I mean, even from the walk, she walks into the room.
That's true.
Commands
the whole room.
The whole
Did
room.
I do that today?
You did.
Commands the whole room, fills the room, no matter how big it is, and
Nice
holds
shoes,
her own.
nice jacket.
I was very intentional in all of that.
and you know, I worked for you, I think, 2010, my very first job, actually. That was my very first job out of college. Well, I'd done internships.
Yeah.
First full time.
Yeah.
2010 to 2014. And then the team, you know, was pulled back together again in 2019, I think it was. And maybe for like a few years. But our relationship has been for the past
Constant.
16 years. And there's so much that I want to talk about, but I think I'll let you introduce yourself as well.
Yeah.
Can I say something to introduce the guest? So, you know, Pastor Deji has been my pastor for 6 years now. And I don't know if you know this, but
I don't probably.
but you're probably like, if there was like a maybe top 5 to 10 people that have had the greatest impact on him, I would say you're there, because I've heard about you over the years. So this is like a much anticipated interview, and so I'm very pleased to meet you.
Many people are anticipating.
I've heard
this
so
interview.
much.
Thank you.
I've heard your quotes. I've heard about your mindset, and you've shaped him in a lot of ways. So
Thank you.
I don't know if you know that, but I just wanted to say that I'm really glad that you're here.
I think we should put applause in the background.
Yeah.
I'll take that. So listen, that's almost overwhelming because my titles and my jobs don't really matter. I'll say this about myself, and it's something I've talked about with several people, and it's so interesting. I'm a mother of 2 boys, Nicholas and Nevin. They don't like to be called boys; they're men.
Yeah, they're men now.
And I was so afraid to be a mother of sons. I felt very ill-equipped to do it. I'm from Meridian, Mississippi. In my family, girls do relatively well. The boys and men struggle. And so I just felt naturally not equipped to be a mother of boys. God saw fit for me to only have sons. And what came through the birth of Nick and Nevin is my desire to be a kingmaker. And it's very interesting that I have Deji, I have a young man by the name of Drake, another young man, Eddie Hawkins, which you know, that they're almost like sons to me, and the same level of investment that I put in my own sons. And once I became clear that I was about to be the mother of boys whom I called Prince, my mission as a mom was to it was for them to be kings.
Yeah.
And I feel that same way about Deji and
Wow.
several other young men that I've mentored. And if the queen is supposed to be the kingmaker,
Yeah.
the king is not the kingmaker. The queen is the kingmaker. And
Interesting.
and I it's so crazy that that's it for me. All of the other titles, secretary, CEO, she did this, she did that.
And let me list them as I remember. So I met, well, I'll start from when I met you.
Okay.
I met Tisha as Chief of Staff of Baltimore City Public Schools, multi-billion-dollar organization.
Check.
Check, right? and Chief of Staff till this day is like number 2 in city schools. And I think we'll talk about that journey because it's a very dramatic journey.
Yeah, it was.
Because I've never heard of anyone go from special assistant to Chief of Staff.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
So from there to interim CEO.
Yep.
Big check.
Yep. Check.
And big check.
Well, not as big as we would have liked.
Not as big as we would have liked.
Not in today's inflation and tariff.
See, but at the time that was
very big.
Yeah.
It was very big. You're right.
And then you'd gone on to become president of, I think it was an what's it called? Plank.
So first I did kind of some independent consulting.
Yes.
Traveled around the country.
Yes.
Then EVP of the Dana DeCarlo Scott Plank Family Foundation.
Yes.
So that was a family office.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting.
Yeah.
Yep, you're right.
And then to president of a tech company.
Yep. Westmore's Bridget EDU company.
Bridget
yep.
EDU.
Which I sold.
Yes. Which she sold.
Wow.
Check.
Right. And then I think before executive director, you were chief of staff to the mayor of Baltimore City.
Correct.
Wow.
Check again.
Yes. And advisor, I think, and there was some of the title, like advisor, special advisor, something like that, to the mayor, something of that sort. And then executive director of the first, well, I think I should put, how do you say this? Like the first executive director of a new organization, the Mayor's Office of Children and Family Success.
Which we did together.
Yes.
So that was a we moment.
Yes. So we worked together on that one. And I mean, amazing.
And I called you and I said, I can't do this job without you.
I remember the call.
Okay.
I told him about the call.
And he was like, you can't pay me enough. I said, Deji, stop talking to me about the money. This is the right thing to do. And it took me like a couple of phone calls.
Wow.
And he was like, well, I'm like, listen, come on. This is going to be good work. Who knew that a pandemic was around the corner?
Yes. And you don't even know what that meant for me, at the time. And I want to talk about this when we get to like the mentorship part, because this is so important. Because some of the things that you talked about in terms of like mentoring me, I've passed on to others. And I think that's the beauty of it, but she went on from there to run, you were
Chief of Staff for Westmore's.
Chief of Staff for the campaign.
Yep, campaign.
For Westmore's
electoral.
To be our first black governor.
The first black governor.
That was crazy.
Of Maryland.
I want to hear about that.
Yes. And see, this is why
and then we won.
And you won.
And
you won. I mean, as with everything else that you've done, right? And I'm just hoping that, like, in the course of this conversation, we can really milk a lot of the wisdom, a lot of the, the things that, you did and the bold steps that you took really to get there. And then from being chief of staff.
What it meant at that time.
And what it meant
at the
then.
time.
Exactly. And then from chief of staff of the campaign to becoming secretary of appointments.
Which I didn't even know what that job was. He did to me what I did to you. You need to come and take the job. What is the job? I just promise you it's going to be a great job. Like, I don't even know what a secretary of appointments is. I turned him down 3 times.
Really?
Very similar to what you did to me.
Really?
Took a lot of convincing and ended up being one of the best things I could have done, for sure.
Wow.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, Secretary of Appointments, and then now CEO of
The Maryland Bankers Association.
Yeah.
Crazy. First Black woman ever in the history of the country, in any state in this country. Not the first Black woman in Maryland.
Wow.
Ever
Wow.
in the country, in the United States of America. There's never been a Black
it had
woman.
to be you, though.
It had to be
It had
me.
to be you.
Which is crazy.
That's amazing.
Wow.
So you have this really phenomenal career. And I think it's not just a phenomenal career, it's a phenomenal career at a young age.
Relatively.
And I know you don't, no. I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. But remember, I met you 16 years ago as Chief of Staff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can we do the math on that?
Let's do the math on that.
I'm 55
Yes.
in February.
Yes.
That's hard math. 55 minus 16.
That's 39.
That's 39. Wow.
39
Yeah,
as Chief of Staff
Yeah.
of a multi-billion.
Yeah.
Now I feel underachieved. 39 as Chief of Staff of an organization that large.
85,000 children.
And by the time you were 85,000 kids.
Wow.
85,000 kids.
And by the time you were, I think maybe 41 thereabout, you were already CEO of that organization.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
good.
So you've been
It was
blessed.
good.
Yeah.
You've been
More than blessed.
But let's start the
wait.
story from, go ahead.
I was going to ask, like, where does that start from? Because, like, how did you get to that point?
Which that point?
No. That's why I said. That's what I said. She needs to start from the point where
Before Christ or after? Where are we starting?
where you were a baby in the arms of your mother,
Right.
and your grandma,
And how you went from
and
Mississippi to Maryland.
Exactly.
Okay. So just let me say this. I can say this at 54 now, close, I'm almost 55, that what I will say is God doesn't make any mistakes and he never wastes your time. Period.
Clock it.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or indifferent is never a waste of time,
Wow.
right? The worst experience you have is probably the most valuable
Wow.
use of your time.
Interesting.
In God's journey for you. Maybe not your own, but in God's journey for you. So out the gate, I am from Meridian, Mississippi, and my mother had me in high school. My grandmother had a 6th grade education, and I come from a family of praying women. And I just knew I wanted more. The bottom line is I just knew I wanted more than Meridian, Mississippi had to offer me. So that took me out of Meridian to college, which I failed twice. Dropped out of college twice. Jackson State University and Spelman College.
Did you have any influences at that time, people that you looked up to? Because, like, for some people, right, they might be born in a certain situation and be comfortable there. And there's people that are somehow different. Like,
women, Black women, and very honestly, members of Delta Sigma Theta sorority, my sorority. The Deltas were very prominent in Meridian, Mississippi. These are college-educated Black women.
Right.
Deltas are primarily in education.
Yeah.
And so first I had the work ethic of my mother, grandmother, just hardworking women. So my work ethic was unmatched since birth because I came through women who worked very hard and had no problems working for what they needed, and very independent women. So that's in my blood, right? I can't help myself. But in terms of my aspirations for the future, my mother, even though she was not college educated, she had big dreams for me like every mother does for their child. And she did a great job of positioning me in places where I could be mentored by women who were accomplished, who were educated. So those women could take me where my family could not.
Yeah.
Right. And they had all been college educated. They talked about this amazing sorority. They talked about college life. I grew up on, the Hillmans, the Cosby, all of that stuff is happening in television that is inspiring, young Black children to have a middle-class life, to get a college education.
That's so interesting.
So even though I was in Mississippi, which did not have a lot of opportunity, I was surrounded by what I consider today to be very accomplished women who would come back into their community to lift up other children.
I think what I'm hearing here, Tisha, is like the importance of imagery.
Yeah.
You have to see something different for you to aspire to something different.
Yeah, and in everything that I did as a principal, that's the job that you didn't mention as a high school principal. It's so funny you say that, which was the best job I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
It's being a high school principal. It's the job that changed my life. But kind of the cornerstone when I decided to graduate from law school and became a high school principal, what we said that every kid had to have, exposure. It had to be a high exposure educational experience because every child who grows up in poverty, including myself, you're just limited in what you can dream for yourself. You're limited by your surroundings. You're not global. Now, technology has changed some of that, but you can. It's so funny. I have a nephew who just came to see me, and he's in Mississippi, and he's 21, and it's the first time he's ever ridden on a plane. At 21. It's so funny. He called me, Christian, who I love, and he said, Auntie, he's in Mississippi, and he says, Auntie, I want to come and see you. Now, his mother's college educated. His aunt is college educated. But he's in Mississippi, and there are just structural limitations for children of color there. He's 21. And he calls and he says, Auntie, I want to come see you in Maryland. And I said, well, what do you want to do, Chris? I'm here working. I have these things to do. And he says, I want to see Black excellence.
Wow.
21. First time getting on a plane.
Wow.
Comes to Maryland. And my job for him is to expose him.
Wow.
And so he gets exposed. And so that then he's in college and not exposed, right? So that then broadens his perspective of who he can be, what we do, what places and spaces. He goes back home to Mississippi. He's like, Auntie is the bomb. Auntie had me meet the governor. Auntie was in a meeting where she was doing blah, 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 blah. And so even though we talk about these things, he'd never seen it in motion.
And that's huge.
Imagery.
And suddenly, there's probably some things that would happen. Like suddenly Mississippi becomes either too small or he begins to see a way to make a change.
Mississippi immediately became too small. And so then his next thing was, I want to go to Morgan. I want to go to this. I want to, because he's on a very small campus in Mississippi.
Wow.
And it's funny, as soon as he got back home, same experience I have. Auntie, I want something bigger. And now that he's seen it, and he's like, if Auntie can do it, if Wes Moore can do it, if this person can do it, it is actually attainable. And so he has inspiration is very important.
Yes.
You need to be inspired. You need to have an inspired life.
Yes. And I think that even with my experience being, I was going to wait to kind of get into the mentorship stuff, but I think just go with the way the conversation is going, right? It goes back to kind of the experiences that I had working in the chief of staff's office in the city school system.
Yeah.
Because Tisha would have me in meetings with chiefs.
Yeah.
When I was only, and I don't know if you knew, I was 20 at the time.
Yeah.
I graduated college at 20. So first job, I was 20 years old, sitting in rooms with chiefs.
And I always do that.
Yes. And I would listen. And I mean, many of those meetings I had nothing to do, but
Just listen.
eventually I'll provide data. But at first it was just being there.
Yeah.
And being there shifts your thinking in terms of what's possible.
Yeah.
And being there when certain decisions are being made, things are being discussed. I mean, I was in union negotiations with you. I don't know if you remember.
Oh my goodness!
Yes,
good times in that one.
And union negotiations they're no joke.
Yeah.
Right.
These go on for hours,
and they're confidential. They're heated.
Yes.
Yeah, they're amazing.
And and imagine me just sitting in and just taking notes. That's what I did. I just took notes.
Yeah.
This wasn't the day of AI where you can just have it listen
and
to
recorded.
And so no, like you had
Dave,
to.
did you get that in the notes?
Yes, like literally. And that's all I did. So I think that, and I said that because I wanted to make a statement for anyone that's involved with work that has to do with people that need better opportunities. Expose them.
Absolutely.
You have to expose them.
So that's funny you say that. So first of all, I will just say, when I build teams, no matter what role you have on the team, it's important. And you have to be able to, I have to have confidence that you're going to bring value and that this is not a title thing. This is not only the executives go to this meeting and only everybody on the team has value.
Yeah.
So you don't even get on the team unless I have a high level of confidence that whether you're the intern or you're the CFO, we all sit at the table together. We all have something to contribute.
Yeah.
And every, young person that I have had the pleasure of mentoring, I've always seen inclusivity, and engagement.
Yeah.
You got to see it for yourself.
Yeah.
You got to see how hard this thing is. You got to see what you're like, the give and take that happens. You gotta understand the stakes, and you can't understand the stakes of your work if you're in a back room somewhere. You got to be at the table so that you can understand this is important. So even if my role is just to take notes, there's something important happening here. And taking notes is an important part of the success of this thing. Yeah. So if you keep the intern in the back room, the intern never understands the why. The intern is not connected to the success, right? Win or lose, I need that intern to feel it just like I'm going to feel it. So it's a strategy of giving to the intern, but it's also getting the intern to give more to whatever we're doing. I can't do that if I box them out of those conversations. And so I've always found that to be a great tool for mentorship, but also a strong value proposition to the work that whatever we're doing.
Yeah. And so let's talk now about your what you call meteoric rise.
Is that what it was?
I think that's what it was, right? Principal, special assistant, chief of staff. Like anybody that knows the education system in America knows that doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
So how did that happen? One, but two, is it just like a chance occurrence, or is it something that someone listening
it was not
can prepare themselves, to make happen? Yeah.
I'm going to say it 1,000 times. Nothing happens by chance. And God does not make mistakes with your time. Right? So you're not going to believe this because I don't think you know this, but man, I'm about to tell an interesting thing that I don't share with many people. Is the principal of a school.
Yeah.
And after being the principal at that school for 4 years, the teachers didn't want me anymore.
Wow.
Most dramatic experience. Essentially, my teachers had taken a vote of no confidence. And the reason they had taken a vote of no confidence is because there were a group of young Black men, young Black boys, students, essentially that I would not suspend for lots of different infractions, right? You have a code of conduct.
Yeah.
Let's go back to who I am. I'm a kingmaker, right?
Yeah.
And this is before people talked about the school to prison pipeline. But I had this group of young men and young women who were, from the teacher's point of view, terrorizing the school. Fighting, cursing, disrespecting teachers, disrupting the learning. And philosophically, my standard for dismissing them was so high and outside of the guidelines back then of school system policy that the teachers essentially wrote a letter and said that I put their safety at risk, that I was not following the code of conduct of the school system. And they had several examples where kids had a fight and I put them in school suspension, or kids had a fight and I made them do community service, or kids did something and they felt like I was not protecting teachers. And it goes back to philosophically who I am, where I knew, number one, having kids out of school was not good for kids. It might be good for teachers, but it's not good for kids.
So what happened? So if you had suspended them, right, or expelled them, what's that process for that person like?
So it's the principal's discretion.
Right.
And what the teachers would say is, we have incident after incident where we think this group of kids make it an unsafe environment. And she's not being punitive enough. She's not following the rules of the district. And we as teachers feel like our work environment and the learning of others is compromised. So those teachers wrote a letter.
But I think what Rookie is also trying to figure out is the implications for
what's
the kid.
The fate, right?
Like what's going to happen? Like
because you talked about
if you're not at school, what you doing?
I mean, making more trouble and probably going to
you are doing, and in some,
and it's important to say that.
So first of all, kids in urban settings, I think, they show up the best nobody gets up in the morning and says, I'm going to go to school and I just want to terrorize the school. That's not what they think. I'm hungry. I'm angry. I'm depressed.
Problems at
I'm
home.
anxious. I'm bored. I don't feel seen. I'm a teenager in general. Right? I come from violent communities.
Right.
So my language of expression is violence. So they got a lot. And remember, I'm a trained social worker too. So I was asking my adult community I believe in accountability for anything that you do.
Right.
Every choice requires a consequence and accountability. So this is like not you get to go have a fight and then you just get to go back to class. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to put you out of school.
Right.
What does putting you out of school get you? Less time doing your assignment, less time with adult supervision, more time for you to find other bad things to be involved with. And guess what? You're struggling in school. So in some ways, you're self-sabotaging it.
Right.
Let me go to school because I don't, when people have experienced trauma, sometimes you push away support.
Right.
So I just felt like, particularly the boys, were safer
in school.
So we needed to find alternatives. And those teachers could easily, and they did say, well, your method of addressing this, he's still having fights. He's still doing this. He's still doing. But I would say, well, just because I suspend him doesn't mean he's not going to have a fight either. All I know is if I have him here, he is safe. If I have her here, we have another opportunity to teach.
Wow.
If I have them here, the consequence can be between me and them.
Wow. Instead of
some extent, right?
Yeah.
So, I think it's just an important point to make that I was on the verge of being fired from the school system. And when I say it wasn't a coincidence, that was happening to me, and we were getting a new superintendent, Dr. Andreas Alonso.
Yes.
And I will tell anyone, you talk about mentorship, you talk about sponsorship, that was one of the first opportunities I can count. 2 people early in my career who were mentors and sponsors for me, Diane Bell McCoy and Andreas Alonso. And I'm kind of on my way out. They're trying to figure out what to do with me because I have a contract, but my teachers don't want me back. And so they put me on this kind of special assignment for like 6 months because, again, they're trying to figure out what to do with me because I have a contract. And Andreas hears about me from various sources. He's a lawyer from New York who had just come to the school system. And he said, your story is very interesting to me. One, you stood up for children, right? So that was kind of the center of his leadership, which was about schools are for children. And the fact that I was willing to go against what the policy was, with the normal protocol in honor of children and protecting children, that I was so committed to that. He thought that was very interesting. The second thing is he was a lawyer, so he understood the value of having someone as his special assistant who had that training, the writing, the thinking, but he had never been a school leader. And he felt like that was a blind spot he had.
Okay.
And so he wanted a special assistant who had some street credibility, who had been in a principalship role. And then the third thing he asked me is, can you do PowerPoint? Because he said he was upset that he was receiving all of these PowerPoints for this $1 billion organization, and it would have an apple and a pencil and a crayon. And he's like, this is a major enterprise, and people around me, because they're teachers, are presenting their work to me, not in this kind of professional lens. Like, the central office had a lot of amazing educators, but when you're in central office, you have to kind of shift to, this is the enterprise.
Yeah, the enterprise.
And so how you write about the enterprise, have you approach the problems of the enterprise, and you need great educators. And so he loved the fact that I had, very young in my career, but I've now ran a school, I have the background of a social worker, I have the training of the law, and I've demonstrated, I have receipts of being willing to go against the system. And he was there to be a transformative leader.
Wow.
So he put me in this role of special assistant. And I know this is a very long story, but this is very important. This goes to so many things that speak to how I show up in my relationships with other people. But Deji, the thing that moved me from special assistant. So what got me to be the special assistant was demonstrating my willingness to be heart-led. Okay, we didn't even know that existed yet. But I was heart-led for children and willing, because of my values, my principles as a mother, Kingmaker. And someone, remember, I understand those young people. Why? Because I am one of them. So when I see a fight, I know what a fight is. A fight is not up between the two of you. I'm fighting with myself. I'm fighting with the traumas. I'm fighting with the conditions that I live in. That anger is just displaced, really, towards you. That anger is because of my lack of ability to know how to articulate the pain. And so you just got in the way of that, right? And I knew that because I lived that experience myself.
Wow.
So that's how I get to the special assistant seat. What's interesting is how I get to the chief of staff seat is,
and that's a massive leap. That's a massive leap.
No, the massive leap was going from being fired to being
That's good.
I'm like 2 paychecks away from being like, it's over.
Yeah.
And there's this change in leadership. with this amazing,
just at the right time,
Just-
and the right person
who sees me
That's
in the right
incredible.
way
Yeah.
and sees what other people
That's
see
amazing.
is a liability, a detriment.
Yeah.
He sees as the leading strength in my leadership. Who are you as a person?
But that's also a lesson in leadership, though, from his end.
Yeah.
Yes.
The ability to be able to see something
Yeah.
Courageous.
confident
He
where
wanted
people-
courageous.
Yes.
The number one thing he was looking for, because it was a system that had not been student-centric. So he needed someone
Wow.
to support him
Yeah.
in that philosophy,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Wow.
Who already kind of had receipts to demonstrate that.
Yeah.
But the way I become the chief of staff is there's a big data problem. And the big data problem is we were leaving money on the table to get more resources for being designated for a high poverty school district. So we had way too many kids. We knew that they lived in poverty, but they weren't completing the forms that the
Yeah.
federal government required
Yeah.
in order for us to get the subsidies
Yeah.
for having a high poverty population.
Was that the farms program? Was that
The farms program. And so
That's my least favorite job, by the way. That's the one thing that I did with Tisha that I hated the most.
but listen, the data projects here. So he was trying, this is money left. We know we have a high impoverished school system, but people don't want to fill out the forms.
So
for
these
a
were
lot
the
of
students that had to
the
fill out
families needed
and
to
the
fill out the
families,
forms to
It's like
show.
FAFSA kind of.
Right,
Yes, but
right.
exactly.
Yeah.
I see.
And your subsidy from the federal government is going to be based on, and so no one had tried to solve it. Do you remember Tom Dwyer?
I remember the name.
Okay, so because there was so much money at risk that we
Right.
were not fully maximizing this opportunity, he pulls together a team of people, which includes principals and central office,
Yeah.
on filling out these forms. Well, the people who were running the project, and I'm not going to say names, but the chief of staff prior to me
Yeah.
had never been a principal. Didn't understand
how the school,
how the process works
Yeah.
and why, and how to galvanize
Yeah.
and how to execute and how to frame the data. Well, I'm just like you. I'm the special assistant on the team. My job is to take the notes.
Yeah.
Superintendent can't always be there.
Yeah.
My job is to go back to the superintendent and tell him, oh, we had our farms meeting today. This is where the data is. And then he starts to ask me, well, what would you do differently? And then I start to give all of these ideas. And he says, you have to say something. And I'm like, I'm just here to take the notes, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm in the room. I'm with the decision makers. I see the experience, the problem in a different way. And I start to contribute to that. And that made him start to see me very differently, right? And this farms, amongst other things, but he saw me differently in how I showed up as his special assistant around this data initiative. We do end up getting more money, and we institute a process every year that gets better and better at us maximizing this benefit.
Let me even add some context there. So for those who are wondering what farms is, it's free and reduced meals.
Yep.
Now, this is the application that kids fill out to get free meals from school. Now, people don't realize that it has a bigger implication than the kids eating. Now, many of these kids, even though they're from, a high poverty environments, don't want to eat school food.
So they don't want to fill out the form.
So they don't want to fill out the form.
I don't want the food anyway.
But they're not realizing that not filling out the form has
Also
the unintended consequence that
the school
system doesn't get the resources that they need. So this is, and I remember I actually wrote a case study on this in my MBA program, actually. I think you may have signed up on it at the time, but we're talking $300 million plus.
This is a huge amount. And we're not managing it well, but I get a voice. I get an opportunity to contribute. I get to use my lens as a recent school principal. So he begins to see me differently.
Wow.
Ultimately, his chief of staff before me leaves. And another funny story, a person that we know well, I won't say their name, but a person that we know well who was an intern said the chief of staff job is coming available. Tisha, you should apply.
Wow.
And I said, me? And this person said, we would love for you to be our chief of staff.
Wow.
I will write your letter of interest. I didn't even have the capacity
Mm.
Wow.
Wow.
to write my own letter of interest because I didn't see myself in that way. I did not think I was qualified. I didn't have the confidence. There was no chat GPT to write it for me.
Mhm.
And this person I'm a special assistant. This person's an intern.
Wow.
And this person says to me, you would be an amazing chief of staff. We would love to have you as our chief of staff.
Why do I feel like I know who this person is?
I will write and they would never take credit for it.
Is the person a senator today?
Could be. This person writes
That's amazing.
my letter of interest.
Man, that's amazing.
I didn't even have the confidence to put the words on the paper to say that I was deserving of the job.
Wow.
Yeah, I have my resume. I have this letter of interest that is chiefly authored by my intern.
Wow.
And Andreas loves it, calls me into his office and says, I saw your work on these several projects. I'm interested in making you the interim chief of staff. And he said, but I need you to understand this seat belongs to someone who's willing to be an urban school superintendent. There's only one seat, and it may not be for this school, but I have committed to be a person to create a pipeline of superintendents for other urban school districts. So if you take this job, then you have to commit that if I pour into you, at some point when it's time, you will be a superintendent in an urban school district. And hardest job, iron sharpens iron job. I cried every day in that job. I never felt fully capable. And it's so funny. I used to have so much anxiety around
the job,
showing up for him because he believed in me. So, and I wasn't sure about myself. And, I remember him coming to me and saying 2 pieces of advice. Number 1, you will be the best at this job when you don't care about being fired. As long as you are working so you're not fired, so that you don't disappoint, you're going to hold something back. You're going to be fine. You wouldn't be here if you didn't deserve to be here. You wouldn't be here if you weren't capable of being here. But as long as the first thing that you're thinking is, if I make a mistake, I'm going to be fired, that holds you back from the full capacity.
How does it? Because that's something that I've, even in my own leadership, at points struggled with. Like, how does a leader get to the point of not being afraid to fail?
When you are confident in your capabilities and understand. And this, listen, it's so crazy because part of the biggest gift that Andreas gave me was being in the room, giving me the hard problems to solve, saying to me, you're not going to be fired for making a mistake. You're going to be fired for not letting go, right? And actually the not being willing to try things is the thing that will get you in trouble, right? And so when you talk about, all of the things that I've done, what I learned in that job is I'm going to be okay. I am smart, highly capable. I am going to make mistakes. All I need to be on my jobs is 80%. I don't have to be 100%. So he helped me move away from the pressure. I don't have to be 100% right. There's no such thing. I do have to be competent. And competent to me shows up as 80%. Can I do 80%? I'm good enough.
But do you think that's specific to his leadership and the environment that he created? Because if someone was in a different environment where they felt that they couldn't really, because he gave you wings to fly, essentially.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
he basically said, hey, bring your best to this. Whereas some people may be more like curtailed, some people may be more like boxed in a job. And would you say like it's probably better not to work in a place where you feel that way? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, so two things.
Yeah.
First of all, you have to set yourself free.
Mm,
Nobody can do that for you.
mm,
And just because I'm not going to be fired doesn't mean there won't be accountability.
Yeah.
Right.
The same thing I told the kids.
Yeah.
Just because I'm not suspending you doesn't mean there's not a consequence, because you're a leader and you have to live. The consequence sometimes is just saying, I was wrong.
Yeah.
mm,
Right? So can you be in places where you don't feel like you can fail forward,
right.
Mm,
or where you feel like your job is at risk?
mm,
Absolutely.
Mm.
And that is natural and normal. However, you are best, as he told me, when you give your best
Mhm.
and you get comfortable with whatever happens today,
Yeah.
job or no job, I gave it my best.
Yeah.
Right? And if the people that I'm giving my best to, and that has to be an honest effort to give your very best.
Right.
And if I make the terrible decision that, listen, I said the best doctors, patients die.
mm,
That's
mm,
true.
mm-hmm.
The best lawyers lose cases.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't live in the pressures of being great means never losing,
Yeah.
making that is an unrealistic expectation.
Can I say something there
Yes.
as well? You may not know this, but when I came into the job, I did not know how to use Excel.
What? You have been my Excel power user since the day I met you.
And this is a very funny story that I haven't told a lot of people. Well, I've told the guys.
If you look up Excel in the dictionary, it has a picture of Tracy. That's the thing I was hiring for. He's the only person that knows how to.
Wow.
And I'm gonna and this is why
It's so
there
wonderful.
are parts of this story that I think will be very relevant for our audience.
Yeah.
So I went for the interview. I remember you used to have this amazing executive assistant. I'm trying to remember her name.
Are you talking about Miss Joan?
Was it Miss Jones?
Joan Hammond's older one?
Yes, Miss Hammond.
Nobody has ever been able to replace Miss Jones.
I love her. But she was the proctor for my the practical part of my,
which I always do for any hiring that I do.
Yeah. So Tisha used to have these, like, you take a test. So after you've done the interviews, and the interviews were good, I can talk. But then I was locked into a room.
What was your major?
See, that's the funny part. I graduated Morgan with an electrical engineering degree.
Mhm.
You know, but I didn't know how to use Excel.
How is that possible?
It's
That's a
possible.
that's a different.
I can see that
No,
happening.
but to be fair though, if it's more of an IT. If you graduate with an IT kind of information systems degree, you should know Excel. Engineering, not so much. Actually,
I was confused.
Yeah, that's it. I saw the dream. But anyways, I was locked in that room with this Excel PowerPoint presentation, and I literally had to pray.
Wow.
I remember that till this day. I had to pray because I did not know what to do. And I'm not kidding you, Tisha. Like, I did not know what to do. And Miss Hammond helped me too. She gave me I think she gave me 10 minutes extra time or something like that. But between the prayer, talking to the Holy Spirit about it, I was able to figure out my first steps in Excel and finish that work.
Because we didn't know anything. So anything you would have done.
But here's the interesting
But your
part,
whole
though.
job.
But here's my whole job. My whole job was going to
You
depend
were
on
the only person in the whole building.
But you did something for me you may not remember, though. There was a guy. I don't know if you remember Arnold Jew.
Yes.
They paired me up with a guy called Arnold.
Arnold Jew.
And Arnold had, I literally I would be with him whenever he did the work. And Arnold was a genius with data. And on the job, I was figuring it out.
That's amazing.
I was figuring it out till data became my thing.
Wow.
And the reason why I said that is also that, from the perspective of a leader, the environment you create matters a lot.
Yeah.
Because you created an environment where I could flourish, even though, I didn't quite feel like. And it's the same. It's the same thing. With what you said. The thing I knew with my engineering degree was I can solve problems.
Yeah.
That's what I was taught.
Yeah.
I don't know. I may not know the tools. I may not know. But engineering is primarily about solving problems. That's why you have engineers in Wall Street, engineers in hospitals. They're going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
So fundamentally, I had that. And in the same way that you knew the things that you had, but someone had to give you the environment and the opportunities,
right,
to let those things shine. So I learned how to use Excel from Arnold. Got a $72,000 a year job.
Moving, baby.
that I was not qualified for.
Wow.
Well, at that time I was qualified.
No, you were qualified.
Yes.
Because listen, I think that's actually the genius of it, because that's exactly what we needed.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't know how to run a school system. You didn't know anything about education.
Yeah.
So we needed someone who could problem solve.
Yeah, you're right.
And could just figure things out, be resourceful. And then at the end of the day, what I tell all young people, just, if you're willing to put in the work, I mean, and I think that's also what you just said. I followed him. I sat with him. And so you didn't allow that handicap or that limitation. You're like, I can learn this.
Yeah.
I need to be with the person who knows how to do this.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I'm going to get this, right? Yeah. And so what I say to young people, and I never knew. And I think one of the biggest concerns that I have about the current workforce is...
Let's talk about that.
That they...
Yeah, I was going to ask about
they come to the boss for the... Like, I can imagine that environment now is someone saying, I'm sorry, I don't know how to use Excel, but I'll learn. What you did is you sat in that room and did the good enough to get you through.
Yeah.
You knew you needed to know more.
Yes.
And you
never went to the boss and said, can you send me to a training? I actually can't do Excel. What you said is like, I found my way to do good enough. Now I got to go find the person who really knows how to do this.
Yes.
I got to spend some time with them and I got to do this because my job depends on it.
Yes.
I'm not going to go to the boss and make it the boss's problem.
Yeah.
And so I think that confidence and ownership, I think the biggest challenge that I try to get the next generation, this generation of the new workforce, number one, you have way more tools than I had.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
And definitely more than you have.
Way more.
So why are you asking me questions? I don't understand. What are we talking about? I mean, literally, don't ask me anything. Because the number one thing you want to bring to the work environment is problem solving, resourcefulness, and the ability to write. I swear to you.
Really?
No. Yeah. Tisha actually taught me that. I realized very quickly that of all the skills that you're taught in school, communication. And this was it was a joke with one of my friends from Morgan, by the way, like way after school. It's like, oh yeah, we both studied engineering. So, in all your years so far, what would you consider to be the most relevant classes? He said English 101.
Yes.
Like literally.
Literally, you pay all the money for one. The rest of it doesn't matter.
Common splices and all that stuff.
The number one thing I don't understand. And again, you have the tools. And so engage. You want to be in your workplace at the end of the day. I don't care what job you're in. If you're the intern or the CEO, you know what I am? Resourceful.
Yeah.
If you're the intern or the CEO, you know what I am? A great communicator.
Yeah.
If you're the intern or the CEO, you know what I am? A problem solver.
Yeah.
That that's pull the curtain. That's it, y'all. The
Yeah.
podcast is over.
Everything you're saying makes me really, really happy because when I heard your story and, he read out your resume, I looked you up on LinkedIn. I feel like hearing what you're saying humanizes that because I thought I was going to hear of like a really ambitious lady. I saw this position. I went for it. It was like you were going with the motions, but the thing that mattered the most is everything you just said. Is deeply caring about the job, deeply caring about problem solving, deeply caring about adding value. And, I just finished my PhD, so I'm transitioning from, thank you. Not just, but in the last year, but I'm transitioning from academia into like industry, into like
Which
working.
is great.
And the reason that again, similar to you, the reason that I did my PhD was one day I was in the lab and my mentor, my PI was like, why haven't you applied? I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do it. And she's like, you're good enough to do it. And that day I submitted my application. That was it. Wow. Just that one thing. But then when we were preparing for the interviews, she asked me, she was like, why do you want to get a PhD? Because I did like basic science research, so in the lab, but I don't actually see myself doing that long term. And I told her, I was like, I want to be a PhD trained person.
That's right.
Because one of the greatest skills that I have is asking the right question.
That's right.
Yeah. When you do a PhD, you have to start from a question. Yeah. And the better your question is, the better your results and findings are.
You used to say this.
Can I just say this? I have your resume. You should change your resume.
Really?
Your resume does not say that. What you just said, because your resume is your pitch. It's what is your value proposition?
Yeah.
And as a researcher, I know the right questions to ask to solve XYZ. And it just so happens that my research is in this thing. But my research, that's transfer, and that's
transferable to anything.
And the number one thing that people don't understand, that I have learned very early, I don't chase titles and I don't chase money. I work with people that I want to work with, and I work on causes that are important to me. That's the starting place. Once I do that, then I think about money. Then I think about title or positioning. But the first threshold, because I'm going to put so much into my work, and I am a high value resource. That's the other thing that Andreas taught me. You are brilliant. And 4 years into being his chief of staff, basically he was like, you run the school system. I have a family I need to, I don't know if you remember this, but he was in New Jersey. His parents were growing older. I had earned from being a person who couldn't write the cover letter.
Wow.
To being the most trusted person of 85,000 children, where he felt comfortable enough that his parents were in New Jersey and he could adjust his schedule and entrust me at board. You would see me leading board meetings, leading union negotiations, all of that, because at the end of the day, he felt like, he would say it to me, you're as good as I am. Wow. Can you imagine that? And so the first person to help me completely understand my brilliance was Andreas Alonso. And once you understand your brilliance, then how you make choices about your professional journey is not dictated. I'm brilliant. I need to be in places and spaces where I'm going to grow. I'm brilliant. I need to be in places and spaces where I'm going to be seen. I'm brilliant. I need to be in places where I'm compensated fairly. Yeah. I'm brilliant. I need to be. So once you really believe that about yourself, which is also that belief of I don't care about being fired, is not a threat to me, has not been a threat to me since the day that he made me understand. You are so smart. I remember, it's so funny, when he left the school system, he went to Harvard to be a full-time professor to run the Department of Education. When I left the school system in 2013, also, basically being fired was not given a contract. Okay. Best thing that ever happened to me. Thought it was the worst. I called him and I said, Andreas, I think I want to apply to Harvard. You're there. I don't know what I want to do right now. And if I want to be a superintendent, I think I need to come to Harvard and get a PhD program. He said, you could teach these classes. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
So you better not come down here. Harvard School of Education. It's like, you've been a superintendent. I've had you in the best training program as my chief of staff.
Wow.
Nobody in this program has done what you have done as the chief of staff and interim CEO. You better not apply to a single education program unless you're teaching. And so that,
again, telling you your value.
like, what are you talking about?
But that's I think that's always going to be a running theme in this discussion, in this podcast, because it's like mentorship is such a critical thing. I've been on this, pastor plug here. I've been on this series, the whole month in church, where it's called New Year Greater Me. And we've been talking about 3 main things to level up. Number 1 is building capacity. Number 2, all of this was taught to me, by the way. I didn't come up with it. Building capacity. Number 2, building trust.
Yeah.
And then number 3, building confidence.
Yeah.
And in hearing your story, I'm hearing like
It's
elements of that all through
all
it.
the way through.
Because even, last Sunday, I was talking about the building trust part and talking about Joseph from the Bible and what he did to serve Pharaoh. That's often not talked about, in the sense that he made Pharaoh essentially
richer,
really rich.
Yeah.
And made himself indispensable.
Yep.
And I think that there's something there for even going through the ladder, because in your relationship with Dr. Alonso, it wasn't just him pouring into you,
but there was
you were
loyalty.
in those. Yeah, there was
for someone to be able to go like spend more time with their family.
Yes,
because I was hearing that and I'm thinking some people will be inching for his job.
Yeah,
some people would be reporting, hey, I'm actually the one doing this. So that loyalty, that was a big theme that I caught in there.
Exactly.
I had the same exact relationship with Governor Westmore. Same exact relationship of someone who just constantly said, he calls me T, you got this. What do you want to do? He trusted me. And
but you were also trustworthy. I think that's the thing I'm trying to, because it's a very important skill that I don't know that a lot of people have. Being mentored, and also being mentored in a way that you care. And I grew to have that relationship with you as well.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Where I'm listening, I told a story recently in church about, one particular experience where you were really upset at me. And I'll never forget.
The pastor.
So he was telling he was using you to preach.
I was preaching with that story. And at the time, I don't know what it was that I did, but it was really bad. And, you called a meeting of the Iron Sharpens Iron group. This was MOCFS time. And Tisha was upset. And after the whole thing, I contemplated and I was like, you know what? I was in the wrong. And this was a lose trust moment. I need to go fix it. So after the whole meeting, someone else would be upset, like there's so.
And they make it about the other person.
Yes, and make it about.
You said something about this in the meeting.
Yes.
Why didn't we? I hate what you said.
Yes.
And not that you're trying to shame anyone.
No.
There is accountability.
Accountability.
And there is acknowledgement. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging.
Absolutely.
I missed this one.
Absolutely. And what I did at the time, I actually went back to the office and I sat with Tisha and I said, you know what? I was wrong. I think I took things for granted. I shouldn't have, and all of that. And in that moment, that was also a building trust opportunity. Because at the end of the day, in your service to Dr. Alonso, Governor Westmore, every single person, they have to trust you because they believe that you have their best interest at heart.
Absolutely.
And if someone can be confident of that, which you had proven even as special assistant, if they can be confident of that, there's almost nothing that they cannot
Yes.
pour into you freely.
It's so funny because people use words trust and loyalty interchangeably.
Okay.
And I'm not looking for loyalty. I am looking, can I trust you
Yeah.
to know the assignment? Can I trust you to bring your very best thinking to this? Can I trust you to communicate with me, to tell me when we are not in line? Like, can I trust you with this thing that we are trying to do together? I don't need your undying loyalty to me and unwavering loyalty to Tisha Edwards. That's not, that's ego. That's not what I need. And so I've never, it's so funny that we're having this conversation because in many circles that I operate in, particularly in political circles, the word loyalty is the word.
It means something different.
It means something completely different. And I don't need that. I do need you to be trustworthy. And I need you to be willing to demonstrate that over and over. And that's the foundation of the relationship, 100%.
What was that whole interim CEO to CEO thing?
Bad.
What was that like?
It was bad.
Because I was upset.
I was too.
I was upset.
But can I say it again?
Yeah.
God does not make mistakes
with your time.
He doesn't. And you think you want something, and you think it, not only do you think you want something, you feel entitled to things. And you are entitled to nothing.
Wow.
You're not entitled to anything. You're not entitled to anything. They're all gifts and blessings. And so it was bad. And I think anybody would tell you that I was the most qualified. I had the receipts, and I did not get that job because of a political backdoor issue.
I see.
And people admit it now. They didn't then, but it was petty.
Yeah.
It was short-sighted. I would even say that at that moment in time, it set the school system back. And I think the data would prove that. But God wanted something else for me.
Right.
And I find, at the end of the day, I'll say I had the victory.
Right.
It wasn't for me.
Right.
Was I the best candidate? Yes. But it wasn't for me. And there are a lot of really great things that happened for me that had I gotten that job, which I was devastated that I did not get, my whole trajectory, all of the things that Deji said I've done, I would not have done. And so it was really, really a disappointment. And I think that's the other thing that I try to get people to understand is that, you need to have professional resilience. You do get fired. You do get, things do go sour. That has nothing to do with you or your future.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Like, it's actually, you need some of that.
I've been fired.
Yeah, everybody needs a good firing. Everybody needs a good firing in your story. I mean, yes. I mean, listen,
it's so true.
It's part of, like, what are you talking about? LeBron has bad days. He hasn't gone to the playoffs every single year, right? Like, the best lose some. And it is normal to have disappointment. It is normal to like be upset. But the end of the day, I'm here to tell you, like, I now say in any speech that I give, our rejection is protection. Rejection is God's protection. He knows better for you than you could ever know for yourself.
Wow.
So when you go for something and you don't get it, you should do the hallelujah dance.
Wow. Rejection is protection.
Rejection is, I don't care what it is in your personal life, your professional life. You have, I tell you, I said, I'm one of God's favorites. He
I
loves
love
me
it.
so much.
I love it.
I am one of his favorites. And I
Mhm.
can show you time and time again where I have wanted something and he has said no.
Mm.
And every single time he gets it right.
Wow.
So
That's a whole message.
Yeah.
That's a whole
incredible.
message. I need to
Rejection.
give you, put you on the with the mic. Preach.
Rejection is protection. And again, it doesn't mean you don't feel something,
Yeah.
but you should come up from it with acceptance. Oh, I am a child of God.
Yeah.
I accept your reign over my life.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know how badly I wanted this. So
Yeah.
if it was mine to
Yeah.
have, God wants me to be in the glory. So if I'm supposed to have it, and he knows how bad I wanted that job to be CEO,
Yeah.
I didn't think there was anything else I could ever
Yeah.
do. There would never be
Wow.
anything bigger. There would never be more money. There would never be another platform.
Wow.
That was the end of my life if I didn't get that
here
job.
you are. You ran the
All the things.
campaign for
All
the
the
first
things.
black mayor.
I wouldn't have had that.
First black governor.
I wouldn't have had that
You would not have
opportunity.
had that
Yeah.
opportunity.
I would not have had that opportunity.
First black governor of Maryland.
What are you talking about?
Wow.
Nobody's ever going to take that away from you. Ever.
What?
Exactly. That's
So, like,
Epic.
my mother gets to say her daughter was a secretary.
Yeah.
I never would have had that. So,
But I was looking at the time because I was like, man, there's so much more that I want to talk about.
Right.
But I know you said you had
We got a hard
stop
stop.
at 4:30, right? So a few things that we can still talk about with the time we have. We have just
Okay.
about 20 minutes left.
okay.
But I did not want this to end without me saying my proper thank yous.
Oh,
I've thought about this many times through the years. I thought, now she's already past 50. I can't do it at the 50th birthday. Now I got to wait for 60.
okay. Thank you.
But I still really look forward to an opportunity to say this openly. You have been one of the most important people in my life in terms of
Wow.
helping to shape who I am today and how
you.
I lead. And that's such a very real thing for me to say. You've given me the most opportunities. You've believed in me the most.
Yeah.
And you've corrected me in the process. Like, it's not being just a
cheerleader, a blind cheerleader.
No,
I
it's
am
not, it's not been
that.
a blind cheerleader type of thing. You've been very tough on me at the same time
have
at different points. And I really appreciate you for that.
Oh,
I
thank
appreciate that you didn't just let me be.
Yeah.
And that you invested the time and the effort. I when I was at even being, an immigrant in the United States, and I really need to say this because as I started working for you on an OPT at the time. You filed my first H-1B work visa.
Yeah.
At the time, the city was no longer filing. She signed my papers.
Yeah.
As chief of staff. Then, years later, when I would work with you in MOCFS, which is, I wish we had time to talk about that, because that Mayor's Office of Children and Family Success, what an opportunity of a lifetime. And the amazing things that we had the chance to do.
It was amazing.
It was really amazing.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, when Tisha left, I knew it was just like counting the time for me to exit, because it was such an amazing experience with you there. And in that role as well, you filed my work visa.
I did.
So my only two work visas in these United States of America, she filed them. And at the time, the city had not filed for, city has how many employees in total? Like maybe,
I don't know. 20,000 maybe.
Yeah, like a ridiculous thousands of employees. And they had not filed for anyone, I think, in 8 years leading up to that. I was the first one. And I've been the only one since then. And for me, that's a lot of advocacy, but like in places that I don't know, conversations in places that I don't know. You pushed for me when I asked for a $30,000 raise, and Tisha said, "What? You out of the max we can do as a city?"
Don't worry about the money.
And we had a whole fight. We had a whole back and forth about it.
Whole fight.
But you pushed that through for me. And even when I would eventually, get my permanent residence in the US, I filed for myself as under the national interest waiver, which is, claiming to be this extraordinary person. It was mostly the things that I did in MOCFS.
Really?
That I
was able to use. And had you not done that,
had I not done that work. And
which I had to.
She had to force me
to do.
She had to drag me.
But wait, let's just stop.
Yeah.
God does not waste your time.
He does not.
And I think that's so important because it really took a lot for Deja to say yes to me.
Oh, yeah. And at the time, I had eyes on big money. I had eyes on big money, and you were offering me $90,000. That was the first salary. I wasn't happy.
He was so, I knew he was I only am
In fact, let me tell this side of the story. She sold me a dream. So let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened. When Tisha called me, I thought you were still working. I don't know if you remember this. I thought you were still working with Breach EDU.
Oh.
I thought she was still working in a tech company. So I kept talking to her okay, I'm interested in the startup space now, the tech space now. She said, yeah, it is like a startup. So she was saying it is like a startup
in
from
government.
This perspective. Yeah, in government, in the sense that was
which is true.
Team. Yeah, it was true.
It was true.
We had two different understandings of the job. Until I had to resume it at City Hall, and it's city papers and stuff. I'm like, what is happening? But everything's so perfectly timed.
Oh my
gosh! In fact, when I came in, I had proposed to you this big idea of revamping, technology, changing thousands of computers, or hundreds of computers, I think it was, systems, and bringing in scanners and all these amazing things. And we thought it wasn't going to be possible until COVID hit, and then it provided the perfect opportunity for me to do everything that I wanted to do. And the city was like, here's the money, go ahead and do it. And built the platforms that we needed. And all of that, for my own benefit, created an opportunity for me to become a permanent resident of the United States.
Wow.
So it's just, I again, this language, exceptional person.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
And
you're an exceptional person, Tisha.
Yeah. Well, this is what Martin Luther King teaches all of us. We all have the capacity to be exceptional people. It's whether or not we take on the opportunity.
Yeah.
Being a exceptional person is available to everyone.
Amazing.
There's no cap.
I've been thinking about that, right? Because the way that you approached your job, and sometimes, not especially, but sometimes in government agencies, right, you see people just do what they have to do.
Never.
So I was wondering, I'm like, are there people that are meant for that, and are there people that are meant to be exceptional? Well, but hearing you say that it's available to everybody.
So it's so funny. Couple of things. Life is meant for you to be exceptional.
Wow. Everyone.
If you step back and think about the gift of life.
Come on now.
If you really think about the fact that I got up this morning and somebody else did not.
That's incredible.
Wow.
It is actually the opportunity
to be
for everybody. I don't care what your job is, intern to CEO, work at McDonald's, work on Wall Street. Everybody has the opportunity. Not only the opportunity, the calling to be exceptional. And exceptional does not have to be a work thing. Exceptional mother, exceptional daughter.
Yeah.
You find your lane.
Yeah.
And you can be in multiple lanes.
Yeah.
But Lord, give me one. Give me one. I would love to be exceptional in everything, and I'm not. But Lord, give me one. And sometimes he gives you more than one. Your life is the opportunity to be an exceptional person. But that requires commitment. That requires sacrifice.
Yeah.
That requires
Wow.
sometimes going in places and spaces that you don't anticipate. And so being an exceptional person is a mindset. So whatever job I have,
Yeah. Yeah.
every title that you've given, I can give you evidence
Yeah.
Wow.
of me showing up
Yeah.
as an exceptional person. Those
Yeah.
children that I would not suspend,
Yeah.
who are now in their 30s,
Yeah.
who now call me,
Wow.
who many have college degrees,
Wow.
who I
Wow.
communicate with them just like I communicate with you. I have young women that I was their high school principal when they were 14. Today they are 32, 33 years old, and they have college degrees, and their children call me mama.
Wow.
So we all have the opportunity to be exceptional. The question is, do you have the courage? Do you have the
Yeah.
capacity?
Yeah.
Do you have the desire? I'm not talking about what other people do. You can be in a place with a lot of unexceptional people and still be exceptional. So
Right.
Deji knows no matter what was going on in the rest of City Hall,
Yep.
no matter what was going on in the rest of the school system,
Yep.
if you roll in with me,
Yep.
we're going to be exceptional people.
Absolutely.
That's iron sharpens
Absolutely.
iron.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's how I roll with people who want to be accepted. All I've got to do is give them the opportunity. Deji has a desire to be an exceptional person. All I have to do is set him up for the call, set him up for the assignment, right? No matter what that is. And it is interesting to me. And I will say that Deji, I almost forgot about what we went through for your citizenship, for your ability to be able to work in this country, to contribute to this community. And Deji, think about if we had not done that, what your life would be like today.
Yeah.
What would your state of mind be?
Yeah.
What would be your anxiety? What would be, and I remember Deji saying to me when we did this, because we had to get an attorney.
Yep.
And you were the only, I had to make the case.
Yeah.
City had to pay for it.
Yeah. I had to go find an attorney.
It was a mess. And you know, I remember you saying to me, then, Tisha, the opportunity for me to get this visa, it's the policies in the country are becoming more and more limited.
Yeah.
And you said, we have to do it now.
Yeah.
We have to do it now.
Yeah.
And I didn't really understand the urgency. I knew it was important to Deji.
Yeah.
I knew that he was a critical member of my team. I was not going to, and that's the case I made. I can't, they would say, you can't find another date. No, I cannot. Deji and I have worked together. He knows what I expect of him.
Yeah.
He has an extraordinary talent. He's going to put in the work. He's underpaid. He's an extraordinary resource. He is an exceptional talent. He is an exceptional person.
Yeah.
So to hear you use that language, that the burden was on you to prove that you had this exceptional ability and that you were able to go back to that body of work. To articulate.
That opportunity to use it. That was the chief of everything that I communicated. And, I say that, with really a lot of gratitude in my heart. And I'm very grateful for the mentorship and for everything. And I'm thinking about those that are listening to this now, someone that's like, I have one of our favorite listeners, a 23-year-old that just recently started out at Howard University, listens to every episode like multiple times.
Oh, great.
And I'm thinking about that person and what would you say, especially given the generation, are the things that they should be most mindful of just in general, in showing up exceptionally, but also we had a conversation, pre-conversation to this, and you were telling me about how it's really important what environment you find yourself in, job-wise, and picking, places where you will be poured into, picking places. So like how to go about that mentorship and imagery that we talk about, because all of these things, the more we talk, the more I'm seeing how relevant they are. I was part of John Rice's Management Leadership for Tomorrow when I was at Morgan. And I know what that did to me, being flown different parts of the world to, the the office, offices in Goldman Sachs in New York, and sitting there as the, only, college kids, in the space, and then, different places that we went and what that did. And if someone's listening, they think, I don't have this access. Like, where do they even begin, in shining forth this exceptionalism?
I think the first thing is don't fall for what I call the current tricks in the workforce environment.
Okay.
And one of them is this remote thing.
Mm.
I think remote capability should be a part of a professional's experience. You should have remote flexible. You should have hybrid. But I cannot stress enough to folks the importance of being seen, being accessible, and mentorship, the way you got it, cannot happen over a computer screen.
That's true.
You can have virtual meetings, but to think that can replace. The data is clear. Proximity matters.
Yeah.
And particularly young professionals, you have to be willing and find, you got to find comfort and contact. And I worry that, that young people, it's so funny. I have a son who's in his 20s, and I said, yeah, and the person who's going into the office is the person who's in the room in the meeting. Yeah. They're not like saying, well, let's dial Digi, and if I have you here, you know what I say to you? You catch Digi up, and you're great, and you're waiting for the call, but
the conversation,
the proximity, and so all of the things, it is, but it's based on convenience, and it's a trap. It is a trap, and you got to be present. People have to see how you look. People have to. What did you say? What is the first thing you said when you walk in the room? You exude confidence. You bring people along. You make people feel comfortable. How do you do that in a Zoom call? How will I, as your mentor, how will I be able to articulate and connect to and champion those things about you if the only thing I've ever seen is you with a blurry screen and a cat on your lap? It's a trap.
The camera is turned on.
It's a trap. It's all, and the people who fall for the trap. This system is a thing. You hear me? I've now been able to be in many places, in many rooms, and I'm going to say what probably shouldn't be said, but you can't let mediocrity win. People will put you in a position to make you think that you're winning by being mediocre.
Wow.
It's a lie.
Wow.
It's a lie.
Explain that.
Oh, yeah, Deja, you stay home. It's okay. You can be, you don't have to attend this meeting. The person, well, do I really need to wear a suit to this meeting? Nah, don't worry about it. Oh, do I need to come in, or can I just dial in? Yeah, we'll provide the link to you. You just dial in.
Wow.
Do I need to, if you're asking, do I need to do that? No, you don't have to. There's somebody else there who's not asking those questions.
Wow.
It is, you have to decide. You decided to connect with Arnold. I didn't do that for you.
Yeah.
You could have played that completely different.
Yeah.
That happens every single day. And no one has to tell me to be great. I am an exceptional person in this lane. So I'm never going to ask for permission to not come in. I'm never going to ask permission to, can I have my camera off? I'm never going to ask. No, I want to be seen. I got something to say. I want to contribute.
And so when people do that, that
Yes.
says something to you about them.
Yeah.
It's all, I mean, you can.
Right.
Can you? Sure.
Mm,
Well, there is always somebody else.
that's gonna show.
No, I think that quote needs to be on a shirt.
no,
Like,
it
you
does.
can't let mediocrity win.
Yeah.
No,
You can't let people
because you
deceive
think
you.
you
into-
think
Deceive you into
yeah,
thinking.
they say you think, oh, people, oh, my job is so great. They
I don't
let
have
me
to
off
do-
camera.
yeah.
I don't have to do this. Oh,
Unlimited PTO.
and the next thing, you're like, how did that person become my boss? How did that happen? Why am I not? I'm doing the things. They said I could be off camera. They said I didn't have to be in. So why aren't I getting the next opportunity? Why aren't I being able to do?
Wow.
But
Yeah.
because you think, well, they gave you permission, so it's not an issue. You can do whatever you want to do.
Mm.
What do you want to do? Who do you want to be? I want to be exceptional. So even I'm an executive. I literally can do whatever kind of, like, I've done enough work, quite frankly, that I can be off camera and hybrid all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Never. If I can be there in the room, dressed, pen and paper, front row, even if it would be much easier for me to be at my house and a beautiful home, I have a beautiful office, it would be convenience. I don't think that convenience and exceptional person are in the same sentence.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
That's a way to close out.
Yeah, that needs to be clipped.
Yeah.
I just don't think they go together.
Wow. But I think, so a couple of things that come to mind, right, to what you're saying. One of them is, I think one of the biggest things about you and the way that you work that I've learned from is that heart part of things, being connected to the work. And I think that's part of what I'm hearing is missing when you're not able to connect. Because human beings, we're designed to connect.
That's right.
And even the fact that you have this screen between you and someone else is depriving you of something that could transform your life in a very meaningful way.
What's the difference between you and ChatGPT?
Right.
That technology
Yeah.
is going to become so sophisticated.
Yeah. Yep.
There are endless possibilities to what machine learning will be in our relationships, particularly in our professional relationships.
Yeah.
So if you're off screen and I'm looking at your picture, which is a cat, how do I have any more connection to you, any more investment in you, any more engagement than you than I do a AI machine?
Right.
Wow.
Right.
The thing
And this is why people are losing their jobs to AI.
and not just, I mean, the value, my biggest value is when I walk in that room. He described, he said, you walk in,
fill up the room.
You talk to people, you make people feel comfortable. I demonstrate my value the first 3 minutes of my interaction. Then I sit down and we do business, right?
Yeah.
But which is also a gift. It's a gift you can't give. It's a gift you can't share if you're on a Zoom. And not that doesn't have its place, because it does. It should provide flexibility. It should be a resource in a very dynamic workplace, but it is not, you should not lean to that. You should not think. It is a tool of convenience that will drive mediocrity and will create missed opportunities.
Yeah.
And every single day, CEOs have to make budgetary decisions.
Yeah.
The most expensive thing on your books is always your payroll. Payroll better have some value, because there's now so many alternatives.
You know, I used to work at the last company I worked for, which they actually instituted a policy where, you know how like managers have to put in a requisition for a new staff, there's now a line there where you prove that this job cannot be done by AI
Wow.
before you even submit it to HR.
And I had to make the case for your visa.
Yeah.
This job cannot go to somewhere else. Just like you had to make the case.
Yes, correct.
This is what we all are going to do in this new
Correct.
workforce environment because people have options.
Correct.
And I just think that every young person needs to know, claim your lane so that you can be an exceptional person, so that you can demonstrate value. And that is it's not just on, how you answer a question.
Yeah.
It's not that's what ChatGPT can do.
Yeah.
It's the engagement, it's the dialogue, it's the learning, it's the feeling, it's the emotion, it's the partnership, it's the trustworthiness, it's all of those things. And we cannot, especially people of color and especially young people.
Yeah.
I have enough receipts. I don't have to go to a single meeting in person. I am a known entity. I've put in the work, and I still do all the things, right? But if you are just building your career, your identity, your brand, your relationships, that is hand-to-hand connection and combat. And so when somebody says, would you prefer virtual or in person? Your answer shouldn't be, I prefer virtual because it's easier. No, I prefer in person. If you don't have any other option, then I'll take the virtual. But the person who says to me, Ms. Edwards, I'd like to have an in-person meeting with you, unless you prefer to have virtual. So just, it's those things. And that's not what young people are being told, pushed toward. It's
not. Everyone's looking for a remote job.
And they will be not jobbing. And that's what I said to Deji. Don't think about the now. I want you to have some foresight in this role, in this opportunity, and our ability to work together. You're going to get all the things you're supposed to have. And one day you will be in the very best position to be 100% remote. But that's not today. And let me tell you something. As a Black woman who is leading a bankers association for the first time in this country's history, I want to be in person for everything. I'm at the top of the sphere.
I see that. Yeah.
Right.
I need to be there.
Yeah. Even for the imagery again. Imagery.
And when the cameras go, when they say leave the meeting, there's always a meeting. When the meeting's over,
there's another meeting.
There's people sitting around. You want to go to lunch?
Yeah.
Let's walk outside and let's talk about this. And the person who was on the camera, like, what happened?
Yeah, and decisions are made in those lunch discussions.
Not leaving me. I want to know where everything, honey. Yeah. And I have that flexibility.
Yeah.
I want to be there.
Wow,
I just want to say it's 4:39. So
it's okay. We're good.
I think that we need to have another one.
No, this yeah.
Because no, I really feel like
only if we we only come back together if Deji has to have, like, we're only going to talk about this. We're only going to talk about this.
Okay. Because but to be fair, though, we touched on a lot of very important things, and I think that when we revisit this, there's some things that I have in mind because that I desperately wanted to talk about. For instance, I think I learned vulnerability and leadership from Tisha. She'll walk into a room and she'll sit down and she'll say, "Well, y'all give me a minute." And she's reading the things. I don't know how you used to say, but like, I have a something great reading ability, but I know how to ask the right questions.
That's right.
Kind of like what you said. And by the time she's done, the questions, the contributions, but even being able to say that, like hearing that.
I don't know what we're talking about. Listen, my current job. Ask me what I know about banking.
Right.
But let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I know God doesn't waste my time. I know there's a reason he asked me here. I know that I'm smart. I know that there are questions that need to be asked that only I can ask.
Yes.
And I know that I have the capacity to learn anything technical, but to take that technical understanding and apply that to where there's the greatest need for application. And so I don't have to, I've never felt like I needed, and it's very similar to being an engineer. I've never felt like, and this is what I'm saying about your resume. I think people oversell on these areas of expertise. These are the things, these are the things I know how to do. These are the questions I know how to ask. This is how I know how to show up. But it's so funny. I'm in settings a lot of times where people, you asking the question is almost offensive to them, right? And so I'm not asking questions because I'm testing you. I'm asking questions because we need to ask.
That's how
when
we
I
get
think
to
about
the
that rental assistance program, that was a countless questions.
It was a countless questions.
It was like
that was hard.
What?
That was hard.
And it was time sensitive, and it was a lot of money. And we were the audit implications. And I remember working with Ernest and Young, trying to understand. It's a gazillion dollars, no regulations, but everybody knows regulations are coming, and they're gonna get you if you don't get it right.
And I was so proud of the work that we did because we're one of very few cities that didn't get money taken back from them.
Wow.
We worked hard. To make that happen.
Oh my God. And Deja was trying to work remote.
So I was hoping she wasn't going to say that.
Oh, he's the king of remote. But you know why he can get away with it?
But he already
But he can get away with it with me. You know why? Because we know each other.
From
If he just been like a general analyst, the fight between us, but he always wanted to be like, can I do this from home today? I'm gonna do this tonight.
You know,
at midnight. But I'm sleepy now. But it was, you know what he would say? You know what he would say? You'll have it before you wake up in the morning.
Did he do it?
He had his own rhythm. And I didn't know he was pastoring.
That's what I wanted to add from you. That's
it all makes sense now.
I wanted to say that. Like now it makes sense for you.
And I believe he was doing a lot of different things. That's just what he does. And so for Deji, remote is about just his ability to do more. Right? So I get that. And that it was acceptable because there was a lot of work. But we would go to bat sometime. I'd be like, dude, you gotta come into the job. So the way I kind of tricked him is I had him hire some interns. I'm like, you gotta be present for these people.
That's what she said.
Go get a team. So then when you're a solo performer, you have a lot more flexibility.
Right.
Like, here, go hire some people. Now you have to come to work because your people.
I didn't think you remember that. I didn't.
I was like, go hire all these people. Because we're going to work from 8 to 5. Because that's when they work. So now he has to take responsibility for the team.
Oh, man.
So as long as he's a solo contributor, he wants optimal flexibility. So he can do, I got the mentor program, I got this, I got that. I need to be on these different time zones because he's good to be. You're like, where are you? Africa. What? When did you get on that plane and go to overnight while you were sleeping? Like, what time is it there?
See, your memory is way sharper than I. Way sharper than I thought.
So it's not to not do the work, but it's really to stretch. You know, and he could do that because of our relationship. So. It wasn't going to affect him, but I got his little behind. I said, let's give him a budget to hire some people, and that'll get him into work when everybody else is in the work. Because he's good for you'll have him by the time you get up in the morning. You're like, Deji is somewhere. We don't know where he is.
No, this is amazing. First of all, this has to be my favorite episode.
This is the best.
It's my pleasure.
It's really been an amazing one, and I for everyone that's watching, share. Let other people know. There's a lot to learn here, and hopefully we'll be able to get, Madam Secretary back.
Yes.
Sure.
I will bribe her with 4 seasons spa treatment.
Oh, and I will
Does that
take
still
the
work?
bribe. I will take the bribe. That will always
That will always work. But that's also knowing your boss, though. But we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But thank you all so much for watching. Any final words, Pastor Rick? No?
No, I think this is something I'm going to be listening to over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And also thank you, for pouring into him, and he's poured into me, and I've been impacted by your leadership. So thank you so much.
Well, listen, it is a pleasure to meet you, and God, he's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
So if we're here, it's not just for me, it's not just for him, it is also for you. It is also for all the people that are listening. And I'm so glad to meet you. I'm so excited about your accomplishment.
Thank you.
And we gotta get you out into the world so that you can give and lead. And so I have some ideas about that. So we'll circle back. We'll get some time together.
All right. Thank you so
You're
much.
very welcome.
And she's, I told you.
Listen, I know.
amazing.
Well, he knows. Anybody he sends to me, they better be legit, because I'm gonna come back and who is this person?
Thank you all so much for watching. Please share, let others know. And
Comment, subscribe.
comment. Let us know what it was like for you. We look forward to hearing your feedback. Thanks again, Tisha. And
My
thanks
pleasure.
everyone for listening.